Welcome back to the Psalm 40 Project. We're continuing our interview with Jolene DeHeer. I know more of your story than we're talking about here today, and I find it very interesting that you are drawn to mentoring, especially just given your background and the lack of a very caring and hospitable environment to grow up in, and having those people to come and support you, and now you're using yourself to be that for other people. Can you just talk a little bit more about what it means to be a mentor? What does that look like in your Christian walk, and how you've sort of developed these relationships, and what do those relationships mean?
Okay, thank you. I really like that question because it is truly a huge blessing, and I will never ever, I pray I never ever lose the sense of gratitude that these women are giving me their trust.
Okay.
And they're allowing me to enter into this, the gentle, maybe wounded parts of their hearts and their lives, and they trust me with their thoughts. And so it is a huge gift and a great honor that I cherish very, very much. I've found that the thing that I try to do, I think as a mentor, is mostly a listening. It's a gift of presence and of listening.
Okay.
I don't come as the person who knows it all, and I don't come with, read these 6 scriptures and everything will be great.
I think that that's important to the mentorship partnership, is that you don't, and I think maybe sometimes people think, oh, I've got to be the one with all the answers. So.
In fact, it's sometimes more powerful to say, you know what? I don't know the answer to that, so let's look it up together.
Okay. Yeah.
And so then that gives them some buy-in to it, and it shows that you don't have to know, and it's okay not to know, and it's okay to question, and it's okay to doubt, and it's okay to be angry with God. So the gift of presence is huge. I spend more time. I know more coffee shops in this town than you can imagine, but the listening part. But then the other part for me is not to give them answers, but what I try to give them are tools to hear God.
Okay.
And how to, because I'm not always going to be there for them, but He will.
Yeah.
So how do they discern God's will in this stage of their life or whatever they're going through? And so I try to always point them to the cross. I try to point them to Jesus Christ, and give them lifelong tools like, learning to listen to God through a prayer discipline like Lectio Divina, for instance, or the prayer of examen, and helping them have those things at their hands so that later on, when something happens, they've got that to help them draw and hear God and then listen to Him. And it's just loving unconditionally, which is, it's not rocket science, but it's something we all need.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and I think that to some degree, maybe for some people, it is rocket science.
Yeah.
Like they may not even know what that looks like.
Right.
And to have somebody step in and just show them love in an unconditional manner, that's a good reflection of who God is.
Right.
And
exactly.
That helps, I think, change even maybe their own mindset about who God is and what God's capable of.
Exactly, because they learn to see Him rather than a judgmental, vindictive God, but He is a God of love and grace and welcome. And one of the prayers that I have for our church family is that more people catch this vision. I mean, to make a difference in the life of a young person, you don't have to be a youth leader or, this, hip, cool guy with the man bun and skinny jeans. But if you authentically love just one person, and the intergenerational aspect of this, I think, is huge. I'm very passionate about intergenerational ministry because I learned from them, especially about technology, but I have received just as much grace as anything I can give to them. Yeah. It truly is a two-way street.
And I like that you said that it is a two-way street, and we learn from each other.
Yes.
You have different life experiences than I do.
Right.
I might be asking different questions that you may not think of just because of how I'm growing up.
Right.
And I think that that's really interesting that we have a church that has like a very big youth group, that there are plenty, and I've talked to some of them that are interested in having a friendship with somebody older,
an older person,
somebody willing to
yes,
give them life advice.
Right. And our culture does not permit that. I mean, back in Jesus' day, it was part of the culture. The young came along and they worked alongside of an older person, but we don't have that. And so we need to try to be intentional about making those cross-generational connections. And the kids truly do. They want authentic people who love them. And those are two things they look for. The other question they ask, do you love me? And the other thing they ask is, can you handle me?
And sometimes that's going to be...
Yeah, and sometimes you need to set parameters, like, okay, this far, no farther.
Yeah.
But, so it's mostly just, it's about the hospitality we've been talking about. It's opening yourself up and making a space for another person to just be themselves and help them discover, because adolescence is a time of discovery, and they don't know who they are. They're trying to determine. They certainly don't want to be mom and dad at that point.
Yes.
So who am I? Yeah. And I can say something to one of these young people, the same thing their parents said, but they'll listen to me and not their parent, simply because I'm not their parent.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I just always encourage parents to pray that God will put somebody in their life who will walk alongside of them. And that's why I love the whole concept of the prayer partners when the children are born. Yeah. That was something I've been for years and years I'd hoped would happen here. And then through the Youth Ed Committee and through as prayer mentor, then we were able to work that together. So that has been really exciting for me to see that.